here are headlines. Guaranteed jobs for young people will be among the announcements set out by the Chancellor at the Labour Party conference later.
Also here in Liverpool, the Home Secretary will announce tougher conditions for migrants who want to stay here permanently after Keir Starmer called Reform UK's policies racist.
Good morning. There's pressure on the Chancellor from the hospitality industry. Bosses say a third of all pubs will close unless Rachel Reeves helps them deal with rising costs. We'll hear from some pub landlords who are struggling to balance the books.
A gunman targets a Mormon church in the American state of Michigan. 5 people are killed, but it's feared more are missing in the fire started by the attacker.
The physical cost of the post office scandal, how being wrongly prosecuted left one sub-postmistress disabled.
I've had to learn that this is me, you know, and it's never going to get any better. And if I hadn't been involved with this scandal, my life wouldn't have been like that.
Here, a boat carrying 125 migrants crossed the Channel on Saturday, which is the largest number of people to have made the journey on a single vessel. The latest Home Office figures show a total of nearly 900 migrants made the crossing on the same day, taking the total since the start of the year to around 33,000. Moldova's pro-European governing party has won a decisive victory in the country's parliamentary elections, despite warnings from its president about Russian interference. The Party of Action and Solidarity, which is known as PAS, received around 47% of the vote and retained its majority. GPs in England have threatened to enter into dispute with the government over planned changes which would allow patients to make unlimited requests for online appointments. The British Medical Association's GP committee said making the change without employing more staff is unsafe, and it's given the Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, 48 hours to respond. The Covid-19 public inquiry will for the first time hear in detail how the pandemic has impacted children and young people. Today marks the start of a 4-week period dedicated to considering how the pandemic affected children's development and their mental health.
Let's have a look at today's newspapers. We're going to start with the Mirror this morning. They're leading with the Chancellor's plans to tackle unemployment. They say young people who refuse the offer of guaranteed work after 18 months without a job will face sanctions and could be stripped of their benefits.
The front of the Times this morning focusing on what it calls the Prime Minister's refusal to rule out VAT increases in the autumn budget. The paper says the government will need to find £30 billion in new taxes at the budget at the end of November.
Picking up another line from the Prime Minister's interview with the BBC yesterday, the Metro leads on to Keir Starmer labelling Reform UK's immigration policy as racist and immoral.
And if you want to see a picture of absolute relief, that is it. The Daily Telegraph features this picture of golfer Shane Lowry, who kept his nerve and sunk the putt which secured Europe's win in the Ryder Cup last night. And it looked a bit tricky for a while, didn't it?
A bit tricky. It was so tense late last night. So we're going to have a full report looking at everything that happened last night, if maybe, like some people, you'd gone to bed a bit too early while all the drama was going on.
Tonight at 6, tough decisions and hard choices, say the Chancellor and the Home Secretary, with a challenging economy and the threat of reform.
In the months ahead, we will face further tests, with the choices to come made all the harder by harsh global headwinds.
In solving this crisis, you may not always like what I do.
They are two of the biggest issues for so many people, immigration and the economy. And so a big question, can the government deliver?
Donald Trump says he's very confident of a deal on Gaza as he meets the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Jaguar Land Rover says it will begin some production within days as it starts to recover from a massive cyber attack. And singer Ray on how record-breaking success led to writer's block.
The now very public spat between Harry Potter's writer, J.K. Rowling, and its star, Emma Watson.
Yes.
Britain's rarest native reptile makes a comeback. The Red Roses on becoming world champions and what they've done for women's sport.
We don't want to be the men, we don't want to be exactly the same as them, we don't want to be a byproduct, we want to be our own product in that sense, and I really feel like we're starting to achieve that.